Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's class 5th. Our topic is the prodigal son. The prodigal son. Son means beta. Prodigal means one who wastes the money of his father. Vagabond like. Yes. Prodigal son. जो डैडी की प्रॉपर्टी गलत तरीके से खर्च करता है. That's called the prodigal son. Yes, sir. The prodigal son is a story of love and forgiveness of parents. एक स्टोरी है मोहब्बत की और forgiveness माफ़ करने की of parents. The Almighty has blessed mankind with obtain bounties and blessings, many bounties and blessings. अल्लाह ने हमें बहुत सारी नेमतें दी हैं. But the most lovable of them is the selfless love, care and shelter provided to us by our parents. जब हमें पेरेंट्स शेल्टर प्यार और मोहब्बत करते हैं वो भी अल्लाह की तरफ से एक बहुत बड़ी नेमत है. जैसे कि एक्चुअली बहुत बड़ी नेमत है वो अल्लाह की तरफ से. द स्टोरी ऑल्सो रिफ्लेक्ट्स द ग्रेस एंड मर्सी ऑफ गॉड. Repentance on behalf of man is the only way to atone for the sins. So guys, let me start from here. There was a rich man who had two sons. एक अमीर आदमी था जिसके दो बेटे थे. He loved his sons very much. वो बहुत प्यार करता था उनसे. The elder son was hard working. जो बड़ा था he was hard working, मेहनती था and obedient. But the younger one wanted to enjoy without working hard. जो छोटा था वो enjoy करना चाहता था बिना कमाई बिना काम करने के. He wanted to live a life of absolute freedom. वो एक आज़ादाना ज़िंदगी गुजारना चाहता था. He did not want to share any responsibility. वो कोई ज़िम्मेदारी नहीं उठाना चाहता था. As he had an eye on his father's property. जो उसकी नज़रें थी वो अपने बाप की दौलत पर थी. He said to his father. उसने अपने बाप से कहा, Father, give me the share of the property that belongs to me. मुझे प्रॉपर्टी का शेयर दे दो जो मेरा है. Inheritance were normally given when the father died. Inheritances वो प्रॉपर्टी होती हैं जो बच्चे को अपने बाप के मरने के बाद मिल जाती हैं. दौलत जो होती हैं अपने बाप की ख़ानदानी दौलत. Inheritances were normally given when the father died. तो inheritance उस टाइम मिलती हैं जब आपका फादर गुजर जाता है. This brazen demand for an early division of estate was selfish and immature. ये तो लालच थी उसकी जो बाप के मरने से पहले वो प्रॉपर्टी मांग रहा था. एंड इमेजवर ये इसका जो डिसीजन था ये इमेजवर था. But the father divided his wealth between the two sons. लेकिन बाप ने ये जो दौलत थी अपने दो बच्चों में बांट दी. Not a long time afterwards, the younger son traveled to a distant place. Not a long time afterwards, the younger son traveled to a distant place. जो उसका बड़ा the younger son जो छोटा बेटा था वो ट्रैवल करने की एक दूर जगह पर वो गया सफ़र करने. where he wasted his money. जहाँ उसने अपने पैसे ज़ाय किए. he lavishly dined, wined and gambled. lavishly dined उसने खाया शराब पिया, gambled और वो जुआ खेला. At last फाइनल पे when he had spent even the last penny, जब उसने पूरा अपना खर्च किया पैसा he almost starved to death. अब वो मर रहा था भूख से. There came a terrible famine throughout the country. पूरी दुनिया में एक famine आया, एक तूफ़ान आया, एक कहत साली आई. The country that made living harsh. जिससे ज़िंदगी बड़ी हार्श बन गई. He had no money. उसके पास पैसे नहीं थे. No home. घर नहीं था. To live. रहने के लिए घर नहीं था. And nothing to eat. खाने के लिए कुछ नहीं था. He barely needed a job. उसको एक जॉब की ज़रूरत थी. So he went and hired himself to one of the inhabitants of that country who sent him on to his fields to feed animals. उसको जॉब मिली. वहाँ के एक बाशिंदे ने उसको जॉब दिया और उसका काम था एनिमल फीड करना. एनिमल्स को ये घास शास डालना. He longed to make a meal of the pounds the animals were eating, but no one gave him anything. The hunger pangs made him to fall down and he became unconscious. भूख की वजह से वो बेचारा गिर गया और बेहोश हो गया. On regaining his consciousness, he thought, जब उसको होश आया, he thought, उसने सोचा, how many of my father's hired men have more bread than they want. जो मेरे बाप के नौकर थे उनको तो ज़्यादा मिलता था जो वो खाते थे. While I here am dying of hunger. While I here am dying of hunger, मैं यहाँ भूख से मर रहा हूँ. I will go to my father, मैं अपने बाप के पास जाऊँगा. And say to him, उसे कहूँगा, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. मैंने गुनाह किया. I have sinned against you. मैंने गुनाह against heaven and before you. I no longer deserve to be called a son of yours. मैं आपका सन कहलाने के लायक अब नहीं रहा. Treat me as one of your hired men. अब मुझे भी एक सर्वेंट की तरह ट्रीट करो. And I will work for you. और मैं आपके लिए काम करूँगा. सो गाइज़, आज हमने इतना पढ़ा. इंशाल्लाह कल हम आगे जाएंगे इससे आगे. तो आज का जो ये आप याद करना, तो मैं जल्दी एक तालीम दूँगा, आप देख लेना. There was a rich man who had two sons. He loved his sons very much. The elder son was hardworking and obedient, but the younger was wanted to enjoy without working hard. He wanted to live a life of absolute freedom. He did not want to share any responsibility as he had an eye on his father's property. He said to his father, Father, give me the share of my property that belongs to me. Inheritances were normally given when the father died. This brazen demand for an early division of estate was selfish and immature, but the father divided his wealth between the two sons. Not a long time afterward, the younger son traveled to a distant land where he wasted his money. He lavishly wined, and gambled, and lost when he had spent even the penny. Lost penny, he almost starved to death. There came a terrible famine throughout the country and made living harsh. He had no money, no home to live in, and nothing to eat. He barely needed a job, so he went and hired himself to one of the inhabitants of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed animals. He longed to make a meal of the pods the animals were eating, but no one gave him anything. The hunger pangs made him to fall down and he became unconscious. On regaining his consciousness, he thought, how many of my father's hired men have more bread than they want? While I here am dying of hunger, I will go to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I no longer deserve to be called a son of yours. Treat me as one of your hired men and I will work for you. Okay guys, wish you all the best.